I don't know how. Whoa. Okay.
Whoa. Welcome to the first ever Round the Bus Sports Podcast. Jacob Miller here. It's your boy. Got the man from the north, Cam Celetti.
Yes, sir.
And we got the Raging Cajun himself, Zach Ballard.
Bonjour.
Talking a little bit about everything with severe lacks of knowledge and probably all of it. Me and Zach were going to watch the U.S. Open while we did this. It's currently Sunday the 16th. Instead, we're watching a rerun of Georgia beat the living shit out of Vanderbilt.
Vandy.
Vandy.
You want to know who's not in next year? Vandy.
Vanderbilt will not be in the football playoffs. But
yeah, I'm sure there's good teams that won't be.
Get this thing freaking started. We're going to have some kind of like, what are we doing this? Probably every 2 weeks or so, but some consistent segments for you. The first one is Animal of the Week, someone we think that, just kind of balled out this week. Could be someone or something. I myself said the Blues defense. If any of y'all watched the Stanley Cup Finals, the St. Louis Blues defense was just outstanding. Forced Boston out of the slot the whole series. They couldn't get consistent pucks on net. And, according to some people you talk, that's a really important facet of the game. And they just really kind of were overwhelmed by their defense. They almost were just on top of them as soon as they got in the blue line.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis has a very suffocating defense. They got big bodies that they like to keep in front of the net and block shots like Colton Perico and Alex Pietrangelo and Vince Dunn, people like that. And it's not easy for a lot of teams to get room on them, especially during the playoffs.
I mean,
three more.
That's really kind of how it is. Bend, don't break. I thought there was a lot. Boston really did kind of – they had glimpses, but it was just the second they got anything, it was just St. Louis just suffocated them. I mean, they had little glimpses, and then it was either a block shot, a stolen puck. It was always something. They just always came up big in the end when Boston couldn't capitalize. So, I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, who's your animal of the week there?
Cambo.
My animal of the week, first time NBA champions from the North, the Toronto Raptors. I mean, they
nope, we're losing Cam.
All the best ever played or I've ever seen. We back? Good.
No, you're good now. We got you now.
Stuttered for a little bit.
So yeah, my animal of the week, Toronto Raptors. Overall, just great team play. I mean, their role players came up huge whenever it was needed. I mean, and you could really tell even in the losses that they did lose against Golden State, those role players didn't play how they could have played, and it really kind of showed in their losses and then as well as in their wins. So coming up big, first NBA championship. That's my animal of the week.
It's a fluky championship. I mean,
you can go either way with that. That's a whole other conversation.
I'm telling you, Clay. We'll get to that when we get to the NBA. We'll touch back on that. Zach, who you got?
All right, y'all both picked multiple people or teams. I decided to go for one specific person. My animal of the week is Zdeno Chara, and I feel like a lot of people have hyped him up. And I honestly, these playoffs, I think he's deserved it. He might not be the best player. He's gotten old. He doesn't play as well as he used to. But still, the man played 3 games with probably a broken jaw. His jaw was
it ain't probably anymore. It was for sure a broken jaw.
He's a captain. He's a great captain. He's got a very commanding presence. He's got a lot of poise. And I just think without him, I don't see Boston going as far as they did. I don't even see Boston winning in 7. Or losing in 7.
Chara definitely is one of those guys for the Bruins. Wears the C very well.
One of the better captains.
One of the better captains
up
in the
there
league.
With Pietrangelo.
I mean, he had multiple wires holding in several plates in his jaw for 3 games, and some guys get sore calves and can't play for 4 games.
Yeah.
There's a men's league, and then there's the NBA.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, we'll jump right in. Next one here is whose bus are you riding? But Alex Morgan, I'm on her bus. She is one bad bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, she got drunk and got kicked out of Disney. I learned that the other day.
A true American hero.
And she basically said, yeah, we're not going to take it easy on someone. Like, why would we do that? And she's just, I hope she doesn't have a husband. And this, takes off. Maybe one day down the line I can meet Alex Morgan. But
Jacob's out here telling us all his fantasies.
Not really a fantasy. I'm just, shooting my shot. But, yeah, I'm riding Alex Morgan's bus this week.
All right, back to me. I'm sticking with basketball, man. I have to for this. The LA Lakers trading their whole fucking team. Anthony Davis. Oh my God. 3 first-round picks, including the 4th overall pick. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, freaking whatever his name is, Hart. Him too. Look, just half their fucking team basically, all to get Anthony Davis. They're ready to win freaking now. LeBron's hungry. He's never missed a play. Well, yeah, but he's just, they're ready to go. I mean, they're ready to win now. So I mean, that's who I got for that bus.
I saw that come up on my phone and I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Better hope that works out.
Jesus, yeah. If not, they're screwed. But I mean, LeBron and freaking Jesus, that's just.
Plus, rumor has it Draymond might be playing for the Lakers.
Oh my God, I don't.
Should have hopped on his bus. I love me some Draymond Green.
We'll get back to this NBA thing.
Zach.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out of the way because it's gonna happen eventually. I'm gonna get my biased bus out. This is a bandwagon that I've always been on, and I will continue to be on until the day I die. But the LSU Tigers in college football,
Yeah.
man, we're looking good. We're looking strong. Our offense is looking a little bit more accurate. Last year it was kind of all over the place. We had talent there. We just didn't tune it in. We got pretty decent odds, if you ask me. 20-1. We got top 5 recruiting class. We got top 3 2020 class. We just tuned in. Burrow's tuned in.
Burrows,
Our defense is strong as always.
We'll see.
We just gotta. If Burrow can stay accurate, can keep that arm on point, we're good.
We'll see. Well, we'll jump right into the NHL. Why not? Talk a little Game 7. I mean, it impresses me a lot just how much pressure Boston consistently put on Bennington, and he stood tall all game. I mean, that late, garbage time goal by Boston to make it 4-1, but it's just, it really showed, I think, that Boston got out Bostoned. They were more physical than them. They were aggravating, and
they had a goaltender that stole the game for him anyway.
Yeah, just the production line wasn't very productive either, and it sucks because Krejci is going to get a lot of crap, and Rask is already getting a lot of crap, and those are probably the 2 best players for Boston in the whole playoff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the best power play lineup in the freaking NHL just couldn't produce against them. Freaking couldn't finish shots. It just I couldn't put it any other way. They just got out Boston. I mean, that was just it. I mean, Rask played out of his mind the whole playoffs, and then
he's the best. Yeah, I mean, one of the best postseason performances you've ever seen out of Rask, and
the 91% save percentage this postseason. Like, you can't really get much better than that. And then St. Louis was just able to capitalize. I
think he was also the only goalie above or under a 2-0 goals against average. I mean, That's absurd. It just I don't know if they wanted it more, St. Louis, or just the physical wear and tear got to them.
I personally think that Game 7 was up to Bennington because I think without Bennington playing on that other level that he did, Boston keeps up with them. They score goals. They don't get discouraged coming into the second period. And I think that Bennington has this I don't know what to call it, but this characteristic where he loses a game and he figures out what happened, why he lost that game, and he comes back the next game and he's so hard to score on.
I mean, it's proof all season since January 10th when he played his first game. He's yet to lose 2 games in a row. Very curious on how he's going to play next year because goalies are such odd kind of people.
Yeah,
I think you can attest a little to that, Cam, playing lacrosse. Goalies are.
It's something else. It's so hard with them, but I don't know. I mean, just the way they shot. I mean, they had under 10. What was it like? They had 9 at the end of the first period. 9 shots on goal. St. Louis. It's like he carried them that whole game. Like they could have played like complete shit. Bennington was going to keep making saves. They were going to win the game. It didn't matter. He was carrying the team that game.
2-1 shots at the end of the second. I mean, St. Louis had 10 shots on goal through 2 periods. That's absurd.
Doesn't make any sense, and they still pull that out with the score.
It's a whole different game too. If you look back to the end of the first period, they try to get that rush, and then just too many men back, and 3-on-1 St. Louis just buries it with very little time left in the first. I feel like the game's way different if it's only just 1-0 at the end of the first period. You're in the locker room. All right, we just need one. You need one bounce, and
I think
it kind of ruined it. And you and I were talking about it watching the game together. It was just one of those things where you're like, I don't know if Boston's gonna be able. Like, they got the momentum. They almost had the momentum the whole game, but I think they didn't think they could do it as well, just because of that 2-0 deficit and just what St. Louis was taking advantage of what little production they had and just shutting them down, shutting the second chances down that we've already talked about before with their defense was just crazy in the Cup Finals.
And I think that if Rask could take one back from Game 7, it'd be that Pietrangelo one right before the end of the first period, and because that's the one that really did it in for him. I mean, honestly,
kind of left the 5-hole wide open.
I think if they're 1-0 going into the second period, I think Boston still had a pretty good chance at that point.
Yeah, it really just kind of went downhill real quick. I mean, they just it just kept piling on, and they kept pushing, they kept applying pressure, and just could never finish. I really just think it kind of dwelled down on them, and in the end, it killed them. Like, them not being able to finish, it got in their heads, got them stuck, and they just, I mean, it's like the yips, man. It gets to you, you can't think.
That's all I got about Game 7. As a whole, I mean, the playoffs, there was a lot of teams that impressed me looking back on it now that got nothing else to watch, hence why we're watching a rerun of a football game. But, I mean, some crazy things, especially for 3 guys that lived in North Carolina. The Canes, beating the Capitals in the first round. I got to go to one of the games. It was a good time. I hate Carolina fans. They're the worst. But it was cool watching them then sweep the Islanders. I was starting to get nervous because I definitely did not want the Canes to go far. But then Boston got a hold of them. But they're definitely a young team that I could see back kind of doing this again, and they got some good players in Aho and Svechnikov.
Dougie.
I mean, the playoffs as a whole, every single wild card beat the 1 seed.
Yeah.
You talk about good first round playoffs.
It was a good year to watch.
I know you're a Boston guy, but who did you think had it at the beginning? Because I was wildly wrong.
I called the Blues from the beginning. I just want to make that known.
I had the Jackets, honestly.
The Blue Jackets?
Yeah. I like the Jackets, too.
I did. I kind of saw them beating Tampa, but, they fought Boston hard, too. That go 7 or go 6?
I think it went 6.
I think it was.
That one went 7.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure it went 7. I can't remember completely. I got a bunch of friends around here, all Columbus fans. So they just give me so much shit and just. I mean, they were good. I remember even following them during the regular season, just watch them play. I'm like, holy shit.
They got hot there at the end. I mean, they made some big moves at the end. getting Duchesne and Dzingel, and Duchesne probably on the road. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you. A lot of the teams that impressed me were, I mean, the Isles too. Great first round. I just don't know what happened in the second. The
They had
Avs
two
are another
stadiums.
team that look like they can be scary on that western side. I mean, they got McCarr. They're gonna have a low pick here. They got what, the 5th pick? And then this Cal McCarr kid's a stud defenseman.
No, they got the 4th pick. LA's got the 5th pick.
Yeah, and McKinnon and Rangeloff and
They're
not
project-
Rangeloff, Rantanen rather, and
They're projected to get Turcotte.
Turcotte's a good player. I'll see. I don't know who we'll talk about it
We'll
later.
talk more
yeah.
in depth about that a little bit later.
Next on, I got written down here, replays, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you caught the kind of replay mess.
Yeah. Well, I caught some of it.
I don't know what your opinion on replays is. I'm more in favor of the abundance of them, but then I get the general concern of people not wanting to slow games down, but you look back to that Pavelski call against, like, I think all 5-minute calls should be reviewed because they scored 3 goals and ended up beating Vegas, who could have easily eliminated them. But a bad 5-minute major leads to 3 goals. And that offsides one with the Avs. I mean, there was just a bunch of weird replays. But, I mean, I don't know how you go about fixing it. I know hockey's one of those slow sports to do it because it's such a fast-paced game. They don't want to keep doing it. But, I don't know, what's your opinion on the matter?
Well, when they had first released the article about it, about all the rules that they were touching up on and trying to amend, they basically, what I got from it was that they want to give the refs the ability to go, oh wait, I don't think that's a good call. I might have fucked that call up. Let me go back and fix the right call. Which I would like seeing that personally, because I think that stuff like that Pavelski call,
Yeah.
I think a ref would go back and go, you know what, that's probably not a 5-minute major.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, you see it in all sports, no matter what. There's always.
I mean, sometimes you just get the wrong look at it and you just you fuck up. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, shit happens.
Yeah, like everyone's human. We make mistakes. I mean,
if you're given the
chance to
opportunity,
go back and fix those.
exactly. If you're given the opportunity, why not?
That's what I'm saying.
People much rather have the right call than have to wait a few extra minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure anyone could attest to that. I'd much rather have the right call than just be like, oh yeah, let's just fucking play, like whatever. No, like get the call right, play the game. Don't kill the momentum if it's not needed to be killed. Like it could change the game drastically. So I mean, for sure, you can take the time to change it. Absolutely.
Like when they in the first round Capitals versus Canes, when they took back that Ovechkin goal and it just killed their momentum.
Exactly.
And it was just it was bad. It was bad. It was really
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess they got the call right on that one after reading up on it. But there was a hand pass that could have been reviewed. There was they got some work to do, and they're looking into it this offseason. So I'm curious in what they're gonna do.
And another one that I thought was interesting was if you get your helmet knocked off, they want you.
Oh no, I don't. The article I read up on it, I hate that. I mean, if a guy gets his helmet knocked off, let him run crazy because that's part of what makes hockey so great.
Yeah, no, they want you to, the second your helmet goes off, they want you to go for a line change, get off the ice.
The one I like though is that they're saying shots from outside the blue line can't. Well, if they freeze it, it's an icing. You can't. The defending team can't change their lines. I kind of like that.
Yeah, that one's good.
Keeps the pace up.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you guys think is going to be playing for Lord Stanley next year? Give way too early playoff predictions. That is what I love.
I like your way of doing it, doing 4 guys who are in and then a wild card.
Yeah, we'll start off in the Atlantic Division. Tampa, Montreal, and Boston. I mean, Boston's obviously going to be back. Tampa, after losing in the first round, President Trump President's Trophy winners, tied the Red Wings that one season for most points in a season, and they're going to be hungry, and they're a really good team. Kucherov, Stamkos, Hedman, I mean, just an abundance of good players. Montreal is another team that was right there this year and
missed the playoffs by a point.
Yeah, they're going to be good. Kotianeme in his second year, and they got some weapons there. Boston again. Wild cards. I got a couple teams. It could very easily be my Detroit Red Wings. I know a lot of people probably are not that like hockey aren't gonna be like, oh, they're trash. I don't know. Stevie Y, I feel like he's up to something this offseason, and
I think
we got a lot of tools coming back. You know, with
got a good chance of
Larkin, Bertuzzi, Mantha, Athanasi. You got a bunch of young defensemen, and maybe be adding one like a Carlson's been rumored to head that way. Krug apparently is rumored to head that way. We'll talk about that stuff a little bit later. But I think the Panthers are another team that could do it. The Leafs as well. I mean,
and the Panthers are supposed to be good this year.
And then can't remember who the other team. There's so many.
I'd say honestly,
yeah, probably just those two. I think those two have a shot.
I think Philly's got a good chance. They got a young goaltender.
Is Philly in that same division?
I don't know where they're at, to be honest with you. I think they're in the Metropolitan. I couldn't.
Well, we're talking about the Atlantic, dipshit.
I couldn't tell you right now.
Yeah, I could not tell you. Well,
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I really couldn't tell you. I'm just bringing up teams I like.
I mean, for me in the Atlantic, I like Tampa. I like Boston. I actually think Toronto's going to come out huge next year. I don't know. It's hockey in Canada, man. Like, I think
John Tavares is one of the most overrated players of all time. That is my take, and I will stand by it.
I think Toronto winning a basketball championship is just proof that they're cursed, and they'll never do it again.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto got a basketball championship before the Leafs have even made it to the Cup.
Yeah, so what's good, Toronto?
How did you do your predictions? You do it by division?
No. I just did a couple teams that I thought looked good.
Well, all right. Well, I guess give your Eastern Conference teams. I mean, you know.
Well, like you said earlier, you know, Montreal looks good. They're young. You touched up on Detroit a little bit. I think Detroit has a very good chance of getting a wild card spot and going off in the playoffs.
Plus 7,500. Just want to get that out there. $10 bet wins you $750.
Yeah. If you're a betting man like Jacob.
Or 750.
I think Detroit, Montreal, and Philly all have good chances. Philly's making a lot of moves right now. Like, they just did a trade for Niskanen from the Washington Capitals. He's a good defenseman.
Yeah.
That'll help him out.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess from the Metro, I got the Caps, the Isles, and the Canes. And honestly, I don't have a lot. I think both the wild cards will become from the Atlantic this year. They're this upcoming season. The Pens just look like a mess, management-wise right now. So I don't see them playing well this year.
They traded away a half-decent defenseman for like nothing.
Yeah, I mean the Mata trade wasn't the best. Who do you got from the Metro, Cam?
Metro, I mean, we got Washington heading it, and then I think Carolina's still going to play huge. We'll see how their offseason goes. There are some rumors about trades with some of the guys, but I mean, if they're able to pay their men, keep it up. I mean, I definitely think Carolina's going to come up huge, and then also Columbus, just solid teams. I think they're just going to keep going.
I didn't think about that.
See, I think Columbus is going to fall apart.
Yeah, I don't know. Columbus is losing a lot of players at the end of this year.
I do not think their coach is a good coach.
Western Conference in the Central, I got Dallas, Colorado, and the Chicago Blackhawks.
I also have Chicago.
Which you shitted on me the other day. All
right, now I'll
Chicago is going to be a damn. As much as I hate the Blackhawks, like despise them, you got Patrick Kane, you got this DeBrincat kid. Dylan Strome, they got a low pick this year. They're going to get a good player. I think they're sitting with the third pick. I mean, if they can figure out this goaltending situation a little bit, maybe pick up a free agent in the offseason, it could be worth it, man. It could be big.
They got Crawford. He just can't stay that healthy.
Yeah, and then obviously St. Louis is another team that could make it out that division, but we'll see. I mean, yeah. I'm still kind of on the fence about their continued success.
I think Colorado's got a good chance.
I think
Chicago's got
Colorado's a good team. I mean, what are they, 10-1 for the Cup right now?
I think it's like 12-1, but yeah.
Anybody you like?
Dallas. I think Dallas.
I had Colorado huge. I think Colorado will be a big team. Chicago definitely. They just need to have a huge offseason. I mean, if they can really capitalize with those picks, free agency. I mean, they have a really good chance if they play their cards right. I mean, that's
I think
really
if DeBrinken would start drinking alcohol, shout out to the Spit and Chicklets podcast, they might play better. The Pacific, the trash division, Calgary, Vegas, Vancouver. I think Vancouver's one hell of a hockey team in the making right now. Brock Besser, one of your favorite guys.
Brock Besser. I'm a big
this
Brock
Elias
Besser
Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, Jack Hughes' older brother, and man, they got new jerseys. They're less hideous now.
Yes.
They had that lettering above the emblem.
Yeah.
They got rid of that, thank God. It just looks so much better. And then the Sharks, but I hate the Sharks. So
Yeah, I mean, the Sharks are another team. It's kind of going to depend on them. I mean, they got some guys with contracts coming to an end. Got some old guys. I mean, they just it's going to depend on how this offseason goes. I feel like that's how it's going to be for a lot of these teams. They really need to capitalize on some things, spend some money in the right places, and I mean,
yeah, the Sharks just offered big money to Carlson to try to keep him there.
Yeah, and I mean, if that happens, this is a part for later. But I mean, if that happens, then they got less money to pay some of these other guys, and then other guys are going to look to somewhere else, and it's just it depends.
Well, to prevent that, should we talk about the NBA for a little bit? Your kind of realm of the world.
I mean, if you would like, we can transition that way. Yeah.
I mean, Drake has been the topic of the whole finals. What's your opinion on it?
I mean, shit, Toronto being in the finals for the first time, having Drake single-handedly made it probably the best finals from a fan standpoint to watch. I mean, there was just so much going on. Twitter, Drake. Really, you can go anywhere with it. There was just so much going on with that whole thing. From a viewer standpoint, it was the best you could probably ask for. I mean, ratings were probably through the roof. I mean, you just had so many stories going. I mean, it's just KD, all the injuries, Drake, beef. It could go on.
I mean, the Drake thing definitely. I mean, you know my take on the NBA. It's not my favorite, but I much rather watch college basketball. But the Drake thing definitely it made me kind of turn to it, and the whole is KD gonna play? Is KD not gonna play? And there's just a lot of drama about it. You got Drake posting picture of Klay Thompson cheating with a bunch of white girls, and then him calling Drake a bitch, and then the Drake FaceTime after Game 6, and there's so many storylines. I honestly think they messed up the MVP of the NBA Finals. I think it should have been Drake. I mean, if it wasn't for him, you think they do it?
Dude. Toronto's just one of those teams, man. Like, they're on, but if they're off, they are off.
There was a couple games where they were off.
Yeah, there really was. Oh my God! But then when they were on, they played great. It was like, I don't know. They didn't have the consistency, but when they do have that play, it's just they play out of their minds.
And as long as you don't have Kyle Lowry taking buzzer beater shots.
I thought Kyle Lowry probably played some of the best basketball he will ever play in some.
Yeah, now everyone's saying we gotta get rid of that one meme about Kyle Lowry, and
got it. I mean,
it's one of my favorites.
Oh, I know. Trust me, it's mine. Like the way he played in Game 7. I mean, Jesus, it was like a switch inside of him. Something went off, and it was just business for him. And I mean, he came up huge. Gasol played like shit. I don't know what the fuck was up with him, but
that Van Fleet dude's a total puss.
A little bit, but I mean, he can. Again, they're all role players, man.
I don't know, it's hard for me to. I mean, KD, obviously the second time around really got hurt. A ruptured Achilles isn't anything to be messing with. But like he just talked about with Zdeno. I mean, Zdeno, Chara broke his jaw, and you got KD with a tight calf that couldn't play. I mean, I give a lot of credit to Klay Thomas. I mean, the man tore his ACL and tried to play on it. But that's just something that's where my respect factor for the NBA kind of lessens. And it stinks that there wasn't all the healthy players to make the series a little bit better. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, but I mean, then again, this isn't the first time it's happened. I mean,
yeah, you look a couple years back with LeBron losing both.
Exactly, and the thing with Golden State is, oh yeah, we lost KD, we lost Klay, we still have 2 All-Stars, and what does Toronto have? 1. Like it's all
one that's probably not even going to be playing there next season.
Exactly. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, there's no reason. The thing with Golden State is they shouldn't have been playing all these games during the regular season. I mean, there's no reason frickin' Klay, Steph, Draymond, all them is playing against a fucking shitty ass team like Denver or something towards the end of the season. Like, you don't need to be playing all
these guys. You're in the playoffs, and it doesn't really matter what seed you are.
Exactly. Like,
and now this is probably the beginning of the end for Golden State, I believe too. I think they're about to have a lot of guys walk away.
So do I. I think Golden State resigns KD. KD's going to be out for a while. He's going to get a huge deal. I think he's going to become the new face of the franchise. I think he's just going to take over that role Steph had and just run with it. Him getting hurt kind of created that story, kind of created that, not really underdog feel, but just kind of more like, oh, see, we're not this great team. We lost to Toronto. Like, like whatever. It's just, there's something different about him now because people think that they're falling off. And I think they're going to kind of take that and run with it. So, I mean.
What do you think? Where do you think Klay goes?
I think Klay stays. I think
they're going to keep. I mean, then who are they? I mean, I think Draymond's bound to leave any moment now just because he's always in the shadow there. And I know you don't like Draymond, but Draymond is one of those guys. He's probably the best defensive player in the league. I mean, what did he average a triple-double in the playoffs or some shit?
Or something like that. Yeah, exactly. And like,
he's an all-around good basketball player. I know I'm a little biased, my dad being a Michigan State grad, but KD, I don't think KD goes there, but I'm with you. I think he gets a big contract regardless of his injury. Maybe he just signs a 1-year contract with Golden State with the injury and sees what happens and plays the market. But I mean, I don't know enough about basketball to give enough good takes. But
I think they max him. I think they give him a max deal. I mean, he took his pay cut so everyone else could get paid. I mean, there was a lot going on behind that a lot of people may not know. Like, he did take a pay cut so they could pay Sean Livingston and some other guys. I can't remember who they were exactly. Yeah. But I mean, he took cuts just so other people could be a part of this. I mean, because of all this, and I think they're going to give him a max deal. He gave him everything that he's got. They're going to be like, we're falling on your back. You're our guy. We're paying it back to you. We're giving you this max deal and letting him run with it. I mean,
probably the best player in the league right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't really think you can say much. I mean, LeBron's obviously up there, but just the way KD was playing.
LeBron's getting up in age, too. It's just one of those things.
I mean, those last 12 minutes or whatever KD played before he got hurt were probably 12 minutes of just unstoppable basketball.
I mean, what did he score? 11 points in 12 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. I think he missed like 1 or 2 shots. Toronto just couldn't do anything. I mean, we could play the best defense we wanted. He's fucking 7 feet tall or whatever it is. He's just putting it right over him. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. So it's
at the end of the day, Boardman got paid.
Boardman got paid. That's it.
The Boardman got paid. Swing it back to the NHL a little bit.
Yay.
Since Zach literally just sat there for 10 minutes in silence, has no idea what happened. Slept through the whole basketball game.
What are you going to do, man? I like to watch better sports.
Man. Got to know a little everything, I guess. We got Capo. How do you say it?
Capo.
Caco. I don't. The Finnish dude that's really fucking good.
Saucy
Yeah, that
man.
And Jack Hughes, the American. The two people leading off what is the off season of hockey until we patiently wait till when do they start playing? November? October?
September, the preseason starts.
Here we go. Not even that far away. Good thing about sports that play 82 game seasons.
It's like September 20th, I think.
But yeah, we got picks 1 and 2 right there. I don't know how. I know Cam, you're not the biggest in-depth hockey guy. I'm starting to get that way just because the Red Wings are bad, and the only thing I had to look forward to is people I knew nothing about. And but this Jack Hughes kid, he's really good. American, passed up Austin Matthews and somebody else.
Brothers in the league.
Yeah, his brothers in the league. He looks really good.
He's on Vancouver, that team we were talking about being good earlier.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to play. Devils got the first pick, and then Rangers going to get this Capo Keiko kid. And he, I mean, in the World Junior Cup or whatever you call it, or not even the World Junior Cup. It was just the World Cup, or no, the IHF tournament or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, he went off. He had I think he had 7 points in 11 games or something. Helped him win gold. Jack Hughes didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yep.
I think Hughes definitely has a higher ceiling between the two, but Capo might be the better player in the short run. I'm curious on what these front two teams are going to value on who they pick, but
yeah, and when the lottery first happened, I saw a lot of things going around where New Jersey was talking about how they're like, oh, we're not just going to automatically pick Jack Hughes. You know, we're looking at other people. But they're probably going to pick Jack Hughes. New York Rangers are probably going to pick Capo. I don't see either of them dropping. I mean, 1 and 2, for me, are locked in.
1 and 2 are definite locks. It's 3 through 10 that's really
when it becomes a cluster
confusing, and I don't know.
We could go through. Really all I could touch on. 1 and 2, really all I could touch on. I know those. The rest is just like, all right, see who falls for that.
You're not alone.
Yeah,
a lot
of these guys we know nothing about, and I don't know. We thought it'd be fun to do our own mock draft, and third pick going to Chicago. Who you like, Zach?
I mean, I see Turcotte. I see Cozens. I know you guys want Cozens, and
there's a couple guys.
I see Cozens. Honestly, if he doesn't go for Chicago right then and there, I think y'all get him.
Yeah.
I think either Cozens or Turcotte. That's who they've been looking at apparently.
I think it's gonna be Turcotte. Things I heard on the Spit and Chicklets podcast from DeBrinken, and I mean Turcotte, another American kid, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's going third.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had too. I mean, he raised a lot of questions with injuries and everything, but I don't think it matters too much to him. Yeah. I think that
he seems resilient, and we'll see. Fourth, Colorado Avalanche. I got that Dot kid. I know nothing about him. I just see him going fourth in most of the things I see.
See, now I actually know a pretty decent amount about Kirby Dach, and because I thought y'all were going to get him for some time, and then he kind of slipped around. But Colorado's actually been looking into this kid a lot ever since they got screwed out of the lottery.
Yeah, the first
and ended up with the fourth pick and not Jack Hughes. But
yeah.
They've been looking at Dach, and Dach's been this guy who's been kind of bouncing all over the first round. You know, he's been projected as low as 20. He's been projected as high as third. You know, no one really knows what's going on over there. I think Colorado picks him up. They've been looking at him. They like him. He's out of Saskatoon, plays in WHL.
Right, yeah, they're right out there.
Yep. But that's
who's your stab at 4?
I had the same thing.
Dach.
Yeah, I mean
that goes to 5, and this is where I'm going to contradict your opinion on 3. I think Cozens goes to the Los Angeles Kings. They're going to need a replacement for Kopitar soon. they're hurting at the center position pretty bad. I think they go center, and it kind of lines up for who I want as the 6th pick to my Detroit Red Wings. But that's who I think it's gonna be. I think Cousins goes number 5.
But I mean, you bring up a valid point about LA, but everything I've seen has shown that they want Byram. But I do see what you mean. They would need a center, and that would help them out a little bit with Cousins. And Detroit doesn't really need a center because they have a lot of good centers. You got a lot of good centers that aren't even playing for him just yet.
I mean, we got some on contract, man.
Yeah, they're just gestating, getting developed. But
using that potential.
Using that potential, that top 6 forward potential. But I mean, like I said, 3 through 10 is really a toss up for any of these. And who knows, The people that know a lot about this stuff still
we'll
don't
see. I'm
really
looking
know.
drafts on Friday. I'm really looking forward to it.
But I do see what you mean, and I could see that happening where they get Cousins and y'all get Byram. I wouldn't be surprised. That would make sense. Y'all would get another D guy. You got a lot of young D guys. They're not fully developed yet. Bring on another one. Get Madison Bowie up there playing good. Get Hronek up there playing good. And then LA, I mean, they're just a complete mess.
Yeah, LA is a mess.
I guess having a good center prospect would help them, but they need a lot more.
I don't know. Did you have a stab for 5, Cam?
Yeah, I had Byram, the big lefty guy, man. I mean,
Bone Bryant's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really think they can go wrong getting a defenseman there. I mean, I just think it'd be a solid pick for them.
Byron's one of those guys where he almost looks like a guaranteed top 2 defenseman. That's who I got going 6 to the Red Wings. That's who I want us to draft. Yeah. I don't see Stevie Y trading up for him. I think it's in the back of his head, but he's going to take the best player available, and hopefully Brom's that guy. We need stuff I've been reading that Detroit's they got a good, bottom 4 defense prospect course, but they don't have anyone that's ready to play on that top pairing, and I hope that's who they end up getting. I guess you have us getting Cousins, which I wouldn't mind Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, Cousins are
he could play the wing.
Yeah. I mean, centers are very flexible. They're forwards at the end of the days and not centers specifically. But what do you think for this 7th pick for Buffalo?
I got him with Cole Zegras or something like that.
Trevor Zegras.
Yeah.
The American center.
Yeah, I think he's another solid guy. This is a very center heavy draft, and
I think they're gonna pick up Zegras because they have a lot of.
They got good wings. They got good wings. You got Jack Eichel rather.
Yeah.
Playing on that first line center. They need a good second line guy.
Just come up.
And Nylander looks like he's gonna be a good player.
Their defense is good. They got a good young.
They got Rasmus Dahlin. They got a good young corpse, and
they really just.
It's just Buffalo. I'm always a little suspect of Buffalo.
They're just a legacy failure.
Yeah. Cam, did you even make it that far? Or did you run out of opinion? The takes got lessened. Yeah. Well, we'll run right into Edmonton, which I got him Broberg.
I got them getting Cole Caulfield, a winger, dedicated winger.
Caulfield I had going to the Ducks.
Really?
Yeah, I like Caulfield to the Ducks. I think that Edmonton needs defense. Broberg's a defenseman. Yeah, I just think they need defense.
See, I think Edmonton tries to go I think they finally go smart. They get a dedicated winger. They got 3 centers.
Need a winger.
They got 4 centers playing the wing right now. They get a dedicated winger. They get someone who can play on that right wing with Draisaitl and McDavid.
Yeah.
Because
then who do you got going to the Ducks?
To the Ducks?
Probably Broberg.
I have Trevor Zegras. That's what I got.
The Ducks. Crap.
Because all their centers are kind of aging. Getzlaf's getting old. Yeah. They really only have Rickard Rakell as a good young center, and he himself's 26, so he's not that young.
Who do you got going to the Canucks for the 10th pick?
The Canucks, I either have Peyton Krebs or Broberg.
See, I had that Russian kid.
Which Russian kid?
The
Podslick.
Yeah, Potslick. I know he's a risk factor, and he's been dropping, but dude, that kid can freaking play. He's got a motor, man. And that U20 tournament with Canada, dude, he purposely won. They do the little face-off at the beginning. And he took that fucking shot it right back at the Canadian kid. And then they were pissed, obviously, and they tried to suffocate him. Goes on and scores 2 goals. I mean, in a 5-3 victory.
Yeah.
The kid's just got a motor, and it's just a matter if he'll actually play or not.
Mhm.
But
See, I think Vancouver's just one of those teams where you don't really know what they're going to pick because they could use a lot of things in a lot of places, but they also have, a lot of strength in a lot of places. They're a very even team. They got a half decent forward group potential wise. They got a half decent defensive core potential wise. They just brought up Quinn Hughes, who's supposed to be really good. Is Jack Hughes' brother. I mean, it's really, and I don't know. They could pick up Krebs because they could use another center. They really only have the 2 centers, and that's it.
yeah,
They have Horvat and Pedersen. That's it. They could pick up a D guy. They could always use a D guy. I mean, it's just one of those teams where nothing, no pick could hurt there unless it's like a bust or something like that.
well, now we got one half the offseason done. Free agents. Cam, did you learn anything about some free agents? Get you back in the loop.
I did a little bit actually, little tiny bit. I mean, my big thing is with San Jose. That big thing with Carlson. I mean, an 8-year, $88 million contract was offered to him. But then, I mean, you also have one of your best players in Hall of Fame guys, Joe Thornton, too, that needs to get paid. His contract's coming to an end, too. I mean, that's just that with offering him that deal, it's also really difficult to re-sign Pavelski or however the hell you say it.
Joe Pavelski.
Yeah, it just creates a lot of problems for them. I mean, they
have what, 4 RFAs?
They got a lot of people that are restricted free agents.
Yeah.
They got a lot of free agents this year.
They're definitely
Carlson, I think Vlasic's a free agent if I'm remembering this correctly. Pavelski, Thornton, I want to say Kane too. Hurdle, I think, or
I mean, they have a lot of people.
They got a lot of contracts that are coming to an end over in San Jose.
And I don't think Carlson's staying.
I don't think he is either.
His wife wants to go back to Canada, apparently. I think he winds up in New York, actually, personally. But Detroit's in contention. He said he wanted to go to Ottawa or Montreal. It just depends on who wants to pay him, and
yeah. He's gonna go where his wife tells him, where the money tells him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Matt Duchene's kind of the guy I read up a lot on, and based on the Spit and Chicklets podcast I heard with him, he's a big country music guy. Plays a little guitar, likes to fish. I think Nashville's a perfect spot for him. It's been rumored that they've been talking to him. I really could see Duchene winding up in Nashville, and that'd be a big help to the Preds, who need a little offensive firepower. And,
I mean, they just need someone who can skate fast.
Yeah.
They have no speed at that team, and Duchene, he's a fast player, he's a playmaker. He rushes down the ice, he kills it. But he's a great first line center, and I think a lot of teams could use a great first line center. Arizona being one of them, Montreal being another one of them, Nashville. I feel. See, you told me about the whole Nashville thing, and I watched the interview too, and it makes sense. But Nashville doesn't need a center, so that's why it doesn't make sense. But then again, Nashville's Nashville, and they've made a lot of bad trades for people they don't need this year. So who knows?
Anybody you read up on that?
I read up on 2 guys. One's a free agent, and one's just a guy who I think's on the block. Yevgeny Malkin.
Yeah.
I don't think he wears a Pins jersey for another game, and if he does, it doesn't last long. I don't think he ends the season a Pittsburgh Penguin, because the way it's going over in Pittsburgh right now is they seem to be axing a lot of things, axing a lot of their older players that I don't really want, that are kind of slowing down. They want youth. They're just such an old team. I think Yevgeny Malkin's out there. He could be a first-line center at all, like 90% of the other teams, whereas he's on the second line at Pittsburgh. So, all those teams we just brought
he's
up.
Another one.
Arizona, Montreal, the teams that need a first-line center could pick him up and finally get him on a first line.
There's a lot of big names. Bobrovsky and Panarin rumored to go down to Florida, which is why I think we're both already leaning towards Florida being a good team next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Huberdeau and.
I mean, Huberdeau just had a year.
Yeah.
But a free agent I want to look at was Gostisbehere of Philly. I think Philly is going to end up letting him go because, especially after picking up Niskanen.
Yeah.
Niskanen's a left-handed defenseman. Gostisbehere's a left-handed defenseman. I mean, that basically said, hey, we're preparing for this kid to leave.
Yeah.
We don't really want to re-sign him. So, he could go to a lot of places where the lefty's weak. San Jose, they got weak lefty. Montreal, weak lefty. Y'all are good.
Yeah.
Detroit's pretty good. There's a lot of places.
We got somebody I want to talk about. Torrey Krug.
Yeah, Torrey Krug. I know you wanted to talk
Torrey
about
Krug
him.
will be a Detroit Red Wing by this time next year at the latest. From everything I've read, Stevie Y is going to be really patient about it. But if the right trade comes about, or if we got to wait for him to be a UFA at the end of next season, he'll be wearing a wing wheel. He wants to come back. I didn't know he was captain of Michigan State until a couple days ago, but I think he's going to wind up there. There's some names being tossed around. I'm with you. I think Malkin's going to wind up somewhere else. I'm very curious on where certain people go, and we'll see here. Free agency in a couple weeks, July 1st, and give us something else to talk about.
It's a week after.
And the dog days of summer.
Yeah.
But guess that's enough hockey for now.
Yeah.
Cam, you want to talk NFL? You want to talk about the Browns?
I can talk about the Browns. Yeah, man. I mean,
the Ohio affiliate. What's the feel up there?
People are excited. I can tell you that, and I do not understand why. I mean, I still see the same Browns that I've seen, just problems, man. I mean, all this talk has just been completely irrational. I mean, they're already having off-field issues. OBJ didn't show up for the first week of OTAs or whatever. Baker got in a big thing with Duke Johnson, and then also with Colin Cowherd. It's just other stuff.
Him and Colin Cowherd have problems.
Yeah, they do have problems, but I mean, you need to look at what Colin Cowherd does for a living. I mean, his opinions are not meant to be taken
seriously. Yeah.
Fuck you. It's hey, this is what I think. Run with if you want. It's not. It was taken really too far, and I mean, he just needs to focus on his game. There's just too many distractions for Cleveland. I don't see it. I mean, that AFC North. I still like my Steelers. I don't see the hype with the Browns.
See, I wholeheartedly, I'm on the hype.
See,
that looks like a fun team. I mean, yeah, they got problems right now, but I guarantee you when it's time to lace them up and go and knock heads, I mean, you know it just as good as anyone. All that hype at the beginning of the season can go away as soon as the pads buckle. I mean,
and I think that the Browns just have a lot of raw talent. They're kind of like Columbus, like that.
Yeah,
they have a lot of raw talent. They may not work together that well. They may not have the chemistry. They may have a lot of other problems. But at the end of the day, that talent's still there, and it's likely if they make that playoffs, they could go far.
Yeah,
it's very likely.
And I think Baker Mayfield's going to be a really good quarterback.
I think Baker Mayfield's one of the
Duke
best
Johnson,
college quarterbacks
Akeem Hunt, and Chubb in the backfield. Mm-hmm. Two good receivers, pretty good defense. I mean,
they definitely
the weapons are there.
It's there. It's just whether or not they pick them up and use them.
All the picks right now saying whatever Vegas has with, I can't remember exactly what it is.
Yeah, they're they have the third best odds to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that I have a problem with. I can't put hype on a team that hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see the production value before you hold water into it. I wish the odds were better so I could put money on the Browns and feel good about it, but probably not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. They still haven't made the playoffs. Exactly. They can have all the hype because all these players, they don't work well together when the season comes. You just can't. So I mean, until I see something.
I think we're going to talk about something like this every time we do one of these and try to do an NFL team, especially give me a reason to watch. I'm not the biggest NFL guy, but
gives you a chance to read up on some articles, learn
and
stuff.
Gives us something to get through the dog days.
Yeah.
A little something else to get through the dog days. It's always fun to talk about college football with the D3 player greatest one of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And then to get ring number 2 this year.
2 rings.
Out for revenge. But we're talking Division I football. There is some hype around some high caliber teams.
Honestly, I think Bama falls off a little bit.
I'm right there with you. I do not think Bama makes the college football playoffs this year.
We all know how I feel about Bama.
Much talent. I mean, obviously Bama's still going to be good, but I don't.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Be better.
They got embarrassed last year by Clemson.
I think
they got their pants
I think there was
pulled down and spanked. Like
Clemson's my number 1 team in the country going into the playoffs. I think they'll be the 1 seed.
They've got too much young talent that's already worked together. It's just
that kid at quarterback, man. Damn, I look at that, and it hit. If my freaking gambling account would have worked, I had USA women's soccer plus 2.5 or minus 2.5. They won 3-0. I'm pissed. But no, Clemson's scary. Trevor Lawrence is just an outstanding quarterback, and will just continue to get better. I mean, you've seen Fromm do it on my Dogs, and they're a team I see making the playoffs as well.
Well, who's your 4?
Who's my 4?
Yeah.
I got it written down. Let me go look.
All right.
It's Clemson number 1. Oklahoma and Georgia toss up for 2 or 3. I think Jalen Hurts going to Oklahoma is really going to add some firepower to that offense, and in that conference, that's all you really need. I know a lot of people are hopping on the Texas train since, they beat Georgia. Yeah, that was a Georgia team that didn't want to play in that game.
They're going to lose to LSU in the opener.
And, yeah, we'll probably immediately lose to LSU in the opener.
Because we don't lose games.
And my 4th, Michigan. I know Cam's pretty happy with that. I think Michigan.
The Michigan Wolverines looking good.
I kind of contemplated between Michigan and Ohio State putting him in there, and I think Ohio State's going to be a good team still. I don't trust Justin Fields. I think he's a little overrated. He's definitely going to be playing on in an offense that better suits his playing style. That being an RPO kind of style, I just still don't think he's the greatest decision maker. And
I have my problems with it. I mean, I had the exact same top 4. I mean, Clemson, just so powerful. Oklahoma, I think Jalen Hurts takes it, runs with it. I mean, I think they're going to be another great team. Georgia's obviously going to be real great. Michigan's returning a lot of key guys. My hot take here is I think Ohio State falls off. I think they drop to later numbers in the top 10. I think they drop kind of far back. And also, I think UNC actually is going to come up huge. UNC is going to be in the top 10.
Joking, right?
I swear to God. I think
right.
Mac Brown is going to do something special with that program.
Did he just say UNC is going to do good in football?
Yeah. I mean, they got Mac Brown. We'll see. We'll see how well he recruits. I mean, that's why he fell off at Texas. Was he quit recruiting?
So far, they've been doing so good. So far, they haven't been doing bad. I mean, he's been doing something. They've landed a few.
I mean, that's a wide open ACC outside of Clemson. I mean, Miami's going through a transition. Florida State's a fucking mess.
That's exactly why, they're obviously they're not going to win the ACC, but
yeah,
I like them up there with. I mean, they still won't have
top 25 team, which is a new thing for them.
Exactly.
Oh, great. More Tar Heel fans out the woodwork.
So my 4 are also the exact same as y'all's 2. I also got Michigan, Clemson, Oklahoma, and Georgia in there, but I'm a reorder mine a little bit more because I think Clemson's going to be number 1, of course. I think Clemson's probably the best team out there. They're on another playing field. They got a great quarterback, too, and that always helps. And I think number 2 is going to be Michigan. I think Michigan's actually going to be pretty good this year.
I like to hear.
I mean, I hate to give Cam credit because
I love Shea. Shea's my
they
guy.
Got an SEC quarterback.
Shea's my guy.
And I think they're just going to tear it up this year. And I think number 3 is Oklahoma with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is a pretty freaking good quarterback. I think, I'm glad that he gets to go to another team and show what he's got after getting put on the bench.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of respect out of him for riding that bench, too.
Oh, yeah, he sat there the whole year, unlike some people.
Because some people would transfer right then and there, and he sat there. And I think number 4 is Georgia, and I think Georgia just barely gets in there because I think they play LSU Tigers for an SEC championship this year.
Oh, you don't want that smoke. I'm telling you, here's my thing about Georgia, and I know I'm obviously a little bit more biased than most people, being a Georgia fan and a diehard fan at that.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at Georgia's schedule and their strength of schedule this year. You got Notre Dame, which hopefully I should be in the press box for that game. Looking forward to that. All right, they get through Notre Dame, who I think is preseason top 10. They got to play A&M at home as well, which I think I got tickets to that game.
See, I don't think A&M's
then that's where you're completely wrong. A&M is a solid program.
I don't think A&M's going to be.
I think A&M's going to be really good. I think A&M's a dark horse in that Western.
I think Jimbo's going to give him one more year, but not this year. I think next year Jimbo's going to finally get the
I think the West personally is in between Texas A&M and LSU this year, but we'll see. The thing I need to see out of Georgia this year, and it's, there's things I need to see about all these teams I got in the playoffs, but Georgia's front seven's got to be a whole heck of a lot better than it was last season. They did not get a lot of pressure to the quarterback, and that's something that's got to improve. Michigan, you need consistency out of that offense. It's, all this is great, but if Shea Patterson gets inconsistent like he did last season, it's, it puts you guys in question.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Jalen Hurts gets the same way, too. He can get inconsistent at times, and that defense for Oklahoma is a liability. You saw how it worked 2 years ago in the Rose Bowl. Yeah. I think Clemson, you know what? It's only their quarterback's second year. What if they figure him out, He might not. That might have been a peak, but I don't think it is. I think he's just a phenomenal quarterback. But there are some questions for each of these teams, and
that's the thing about Michigan is they just have such a precision offense, and they set up all these opportunities, and they don't ever grab them. They just let them hang there. And you got Shea Patterson, and after you do that so many times, he gets inconsistent. He gets out of the loop. He starts making bad passes. And the team starts to fall apart. I think if they can hold that together, they'll be a solid team. Like I'm telling you, I think Michigan's going to be really good this year.
I mean, you've got one of the smartest minds in college football.
Yeah, I saw the potential last season. I watched a lot of Michigan games last year, and I saw it's there. They just need to capitalize on it.
It just all depends on the players, and I think now everyone's starting to get settled, and I think they're going to do real well with it. And hopefully this is the year we beat Ohio State. It's been a long time coming.
It's like me in Florida back in the day, and now we start. It's just like, I just want to beat Florida. Now it's Bama.
It's like me and Bama right now. Bama. Oh, you want to beat Bama?
Well, when we play them, it's for all the marbles. When you guys play them, it's to come in second in the division.
Well, you know what? Last time you played us, you lost, and you got beat by 20 points. And JJ's drunk ass literally would walk around to Georgia players and say, "We're going to beat you by 20 points." And no one believed him. Guess what happened? You got rocked.
One game. We lost when we needed to lose. But
did you need to lose to Bama?
No. We need to quit choking in the fourth quarter to Alabama.
You need to quit joking in, like, your whole franchise. Quit choking in general. Like, the whole state of Georgia needs to quit choking.
Man.
Like, y'all missed out on a Super Bowl. Y'all missed out on what, 2 national championships now for college?
Just one.
Just one. We're not counting the second one.
Which second one? We've only played for one.
You only played for one, but who knows what would happen if you would have, done
beat
something
Bama
else.
in the SEC championship game. We still should have gone to the playoffs over Notre Dame. We've already had this argument.
Well, you did.
Zach, we've been over this, man. Come
on. We've been over this. That's all I got to talk about for this week. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
I'd top it off with some college football. You love to hear. I'm
excited. 11 more Saturdays without college football. Maybe next time we can force Cam to talk about NASCAR.
Yes.
That's
gonna be a tough. Down to NASCAR real quick. Where are they going next
They're racing
week?
In Sonoma on Sunday next week.
Who you got?
Can't wait.
Who do I got? Dude, Chase Elliott's great at those road courses, man. I love my boy Chase.
I love my boy Bad Brad, sponsored by Miller Lite. That's my life right there. Sponsored by Miller Lite.
Brad, I like my boy Chase Elliott at the road courses, but Cam, who you got? Not a clue. Not a clue.
Not one clue.
We're gonna bring Cam to a NASCAR race one of these days.
I think that's all it takes to get you into NASCAR. You just got to go to one.
So off my ass.
Like, Cam, you like this redneck shit or what?
You like this redneck shit or what?
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
You can bring beer into the races, man.
Oof.
Whole coolers.
Like
just
whole
check for
coolers.
bombs.
Yeah, they just look. All right, beer. Yep, go ahead.
Bad day to be a beer.
But I guess I'll wrap it up for the first ever Round the Bus podcast.
What about
I think
the College World Series? We didn't talk about that.
I don't give a rat's ass.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is it because y'all haven't done anything in baseball ever?
Yeah, we have.
Have
We
you?
have a national championship.
Okay.
Yeah. And we played for one when I was a kid.
I'm rooting for Mississippi State because Florida State's just awful.
I'm rooting for Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt beat Florida State today because
Did they?
Vanderbilt's jerseys are the sickest in college baseball.
Thank God, because Florida.
But yeah, I guess we're wrapping it up there.
We're
Quit
done.
talking.
We're done.
First ever Round the Bus podcast. We'll see y'all next time. I think I'm gonna post this on YouTube and on SoundCloud, so check that out. And shut up. Yeah, I'll look for us doing this. I think every 2 weeks. So we'll see y'all. I guess 2 Sundays from now.
Man.
Later. That was great.